today's episode of PJ and the Beard, we're going to take a look at a guitar. But before we get into that, I'd like to ask you to consider subscribing to the channel. Click on the notification bell. Your interaction with us helps us interact with the great people in the industry. In this case, we went to our friends at zZounds and we said, you know what we'd like? We'd like a Heritage guitar, the Heritage H-535.
Yeah, it would be this beast right here.
Yes. And it is,
I'm going to unplug it.
and they call this, I think, the classic Sunburst or the Sunburst.
How nice the back looks. That's nice. It's the front. Yeah, so H-535 looks suspiciously like
Those numbers mixed around like
a 335.
3.5.
And Heritage, like we purposely aren't going to get into the history of Heritage. We purposely didn't jump into the history ourselves of Heritage. We know a little bit.
Right.
Like we know they bought an old Gibson plant, and I believe some of the people working there might have worked at that plant. I don't know. We didn't want to be tainted. We just wanted to get the guitar and dive into it. And I'm glad we did. We both like hollow body style guitars. This is a hollow body style guitar with a center block in it. Mm-hmm. I do believe they have another model. Sounds had another model that is full hollow body without the center block. And I think that had P90s. And I think the deciding factor, for me anyway, when we were looking at it, I was like, well, I'd kind of like to have the humbuckers over the P90s to start.
Right.
So not that P90s aren't cool. I'm sure we'll go down that route. Mm-hmm. We don't get into the geeky stuff. Other people get into the geeky stuff. Some things that we like normally to start off. It's a hollow body.
Right.
So I like fit and finish looks great. Mm-hmm. I like that. I said to Pat, when you watch my jam near the end, I reached down and rolled the volume knob back a little bit, and the pickups cleaned up. I had an overdrive pedal on, and it cleaned up, and it wasn't like a typical Gibson where you start to roll it back and it just stays the same until it disappears.
Right.
Which in my 335, that's exactly what it did until I changed the pots out to a different pot. So Heritage has already done that for you. You don't have to do that. If you've watched some of the interviews with like Derek Trucks, I think Derek Trucks there was an interview with him where he was talking about how one of the first things he always does is swap. And that's probably why.
Because there are 500K CTS pots in this guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, but sometimes the Gibson ones, like, it's like, you start to turn up, it's like almost everything. Right. And there's not a lot of taper in it. And these tend to do that really nice. I thought they did it really nice. Those are the things I like. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna give you the opportunity without me stealing everything.
I mean, first of all, just look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's beautiful. I mean, my buddy Brody will tell you that at one point in my life, I said every guitar should be Sunburst. And I was
you're a sucker for Sunburst.
And I was a big fan of more of the darker Sunburst, the traditional. But the cherry Sunburst, everything has grown on me. But I think it looks great. It's really comfortable to play. It says it was sent with elixirs. We're never 100% sure if we're the first person to have this guitar. I think we probably are in this case. So I haven't played a lot with elixirs. The strings felt great. The action felt great. I think acoustically, when you play this guitar, it had a lot of spring and bounce. Like it wasn't hard to play. The neck profile may be bigger than some of the 335s, at least the one that's in this room, across the way there. But I thought it was really easy to play. I thought all three pickup positions sounded really good. And we've often said if the night goes well, it's a good thing. And this thing was just not difficult at all.
Yeah, I agree. When I first picked it up, I actually felt like the spacing between the strings was far apart. We're not sure that that's actually the case. So I don't know if it's a thicker neck or what. It just felt a little different at first, a little chunky at first. Mm-hmm. We didn't measure it. Somebody probably has all the specs, but
go look at Know Your Gear. Go Phil McKnight probably.
Yeah, he probably
took one of these apart.
Took a pair of pantyhose and a ruler to it.
That's right.
So, the big question is always, how does it sound? You want to start?
Yeah, so I went first, and we always go through. In this case, thank goodness, there were only 3 pickup positions. There's no push-pull knobs, as we're double checking now. So we always go bridge to middle to neck. I played some maybe quasi-Steely Dan approved chords, and this is what I did.
My turn to do clean things, same thing, bridge, middle, neck. Maybe starting a blues jam or blues song at a blues jam.
One other thing we like to do when we're taking a new guitar for a spin, we want to see what it sounds like with gain, how it reacts. And so I went and got the 4-in-1 Keeley Blues Disorder off the shelf behind us. I generally have it in a hybrid, but I had both the tone and the drive in the BB settings, and I played this.
So my turn to take it for a test drive with some drive. I've been reaching, when we testing out guitars, for this LPD 55. It's a tweed style pedal, and I think it's just a nice contrast to the other drive we've been doing. Whenever we try out a new guitar, we like to take it for a spin. So in the first jam, I took it for a spin, plugging it into the Barber Electronics Direct Drive version 1, very early version of that, and into the DLS Effects Echo Tour, back into the Tyler. And just try. I probably tried to hold a lot of notes, maybe more than I should have, or whatever, just to hear. With a guitar like this, one of the things I love is when it tries to get away from you and then you can control it. Yeah. And that moment where it just wants to go and you just let it go. So I was looking for that. Also looking for near the end, maybe rolling the volume back a little bit and seeing how it cleans up. You back that up with...
When we went to zZounds and asked for things, we asked for this Dan Electro 59 mod NOS in copper. It's really cool. Lipstick pickups. I had it in the middle through the Fender with an Echo Tour. One thing we like to do is try the guitar with different pedals. And in this latest round from zZounds, we asked for the Lillian from Walrus Audio. It is a phase vibrato pedal, but they have it to where you can go from dry to phase to vibrato. I had it in the phase section on the 6-stage phase and played this.
So whenever we start running the guitar into pedals, like this is one of my favorite things that we do, right? Because we get this new guitar and now it's like, do we try out one of the new pedals that just came in? Do we try out a pedal from one of our series? Or do we just like look on the shelf and see what hasn't had any love for a while? The other day on one of our videos, somebody left a comment. My response was, yeah, I really need to check that pedal out more. So I pulled it out tonight. This is the Analog Man Astro Tone. Which is a fuzz pedal, but it's not like an over-the-top fuzz pedal. And we plugged it in, and we both were like, wow, that sounds good.
Mm-hmm. All right, so now it's my turn to take the star of the show for a spin in a jam. And I went back to the shelf and I grabbed the Mythos Milner. Because these are, we didn't say this yet, but Seymour Duncan 59 pickups. Kind of, old school low output pickups. I thought, what would it sound like with a K-style pedal? That we don't do that very often. And that's what I do. And I had the Echo Tour. I was in the Tyler.
So to back him up, a video we shot recently from this same zZounds hall. I grabbed the Reverend Double Agent W. If you watch that video, I was in the middle position and took that bass contour knob back just a little bit. I just thought, this is a cool playing guitar.
All right, so going back to the pedal shelf behind us, thought about our series. We have a tremolo series, and I grabbed the TruFi Ultra Tremolo, which is a very nice sounding tremolo, Echo Tour, and played the start of the show.
So when I started looking for another pedal to kind of pull off the shelf or from a series, I kind of went, I don't know what about that guitar was like this pedal. But I pulled off the shelf the Pulse from Donner Prince. Donner Prince makes such cool stuff, and the Pulse is no exception. A lot of times when I go for Leslie, I don't go for this because this is more of the David Gilmour rotary sound. But every time, you go for this more than I do sometimes, but every time you plug it in, it's like, oh my gosh, that thing sounds so good. That's all the clips we have for you tonight on the Heritage H-535.
Right.
How do you think?
Yeah.
Final thoughts, Patrick?
Yeah, you have to entrain your brain. I really liked it. I kind of alluded to it in the opening. It was an easy night. There was just nothing that was a struggle. We even pulled some stuff out that we haven't used in a while, and it all worked. And I think it has a lot to do with the Seymour Duncan 59s. I think the older I get, I'm almost the age of the year these pickups were made. I'm leaning a little bit towards low output things sometimes. And so I thought these pickups sounded great. They sounded great clean, all three positions. They sounded great with no matter what we put on it, even a fuzz. Real easy to play. I mentioned earlier, maybe this neck profile bigger than some of the Gibson counterparts. But yeah, great guitar. Before we forget, we'll probably put a link to zZounds. Normally $2,500. They have it for $19.99 as we're shooting this video. And it does come with a really nice branded hard case.
Oh, we should have probably brought that over.
Around the back side of the camera there. But I thought it was a great night. I was looking forward to trying this. Acoustically, we talk about this thing just rings. Mm-hmm. Setup was great. I don't want it to be the Elixirs that I like because I like cheap strings, but they last a long time. But this was set up great, played great. It was a great night.
I noticed when I was tuning it, there was one string when I was tuning it, I felt like it was actually grabbing the harmonic in the body, like it ringing a little bit. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, get rid of the pick guard.
That's a couple screws, right?
Yeah.
They even have the old school one where they make it easier to take it out.
Where do you fall in the pick guard? On or off?
When I see them on, I'm fine. When I see them off, I'm fine too. Like I could, it does show, especially when you have a nice like maple top or something. It does show more of the top.
So you're in the middle.
Yeah, I could go either way.
I'm definitely like
off.
Yeah. Hollow 335 style guitars, Les Paul styles. Pick guard off. Brody's like that. Played the way the maker made it, right? Between the three of us,
yeah,
it's just like Brody and I are on opposite extremes.
And I'm Switzerland as usual.
Right, he's in the middle. So anyway, yeah, I mean, it's a nice pick guard. I like the little thing here, but I would take it off and put it in the box with all my other pick guards.
If you're looking for a pick guard for a Les Paul or a 335, he's your guy.
Yeah. I have no, like Pat said, it was an easy night. I have no complaints. I think it took me a little while to get used to the neck, but I'll tell you what, it was comfortable. I never felt like my hand was cramping on it or something like that. Sometimes with the thinner necks, I feel like my hand cramps up. I'm such a baby. But stamp made in the USA, stamp serial number in the back. It reminds you a lot of another company.
That's right.
Can you get a 335 for $1,900? $1,999?
I don't think so. I don't think you can get one for $2,500. I don't think.
Made in the US. In the same factory they made Gibson. I'm not sure what factory mine was made in, but we ought to look that up. Maybe it's made in the same factory.
That'd be funny.
Any idea when that closed down?
No.
None. Neither do I. Anybody know? When did the Gibson factory that Heritage bought close down? If you've been with us this long and you know, please let us know. I think I'm going to stop there. Like sometimes when it plays great, I think Final Thoughts would be a lot longer if there was stuff to complain about, and there's nothing to complain about. I don't see any fit or finish stuff that I would complain about.
All high-end components. Grover tuners.
Yeah.
Like everything you would expect.
Switchcraft,
CTS pots.
Very nice. With that, oh wait, there's a fuzzy stuck in the screw. With that, thanks for watching. Thanks for clicking subscribe, hit notification bell, leaving comments if you do, because anytime you interact with us, that's what helps us interact with people like Zounds and getting cool stuff like the Heritage H-535. Or any of the other myriad things that Zounds sent to us that we shared with you tonight to share with you, right? Hopefully a beneficial relationship for both of us, right? So with that,
I'm PJ on behalf of the Beard, reminding you no matter what you hear, you never have too much gear.